Mic check 1 2 1 2, and Blade said, "What up?" Welcome back to the Bebop Boys podcast, where I'm Leer. I'm reviewing the new game, Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero. We waited for this game for about 2 years since they announced it at the Game Awards in 2022, I believe. I might be wrong. It might have been 2023, and we've just been waiting a year, and we've just been getting information on it. But Sparking Zero released. I wasn't like one of them rich guys. I wasn't able to get it 3 days early.
The hair, even the hair movement.
So I got the $70 edition, the standard edition. So I was able to play it for the weekend, over the weekend, man. And so here's my review on it. 20 hours in. So yeah, first things first. What is Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero? Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero is the fourth official game in the Budokai Tenkaichi series, with the previous games in Japan known as Dragon Ball Z Sparking, Sparking Neo, and Sparking Meteor. The Budokai Tenkaichi series is not related to the original Budokai series, which was developed by Dimps, if I'm saying that right, and is featured in 2D style of fighting. The introduction to Sparking to the West may it be confusing for fans, but its potential to set off the Dragon Ball Z fighting games as a whole. Now, the Sparking Zero, like I said, the Sparking Zero trailer was revealed during 2022 Game Awards, and expected a modern update to the Tenkaichi format, confirming several characters from Dragon Ball Z Super, which we're going to get into that later. Sparking Zero has every single DBZ and Super character that you could want. Even some from the movies. And me personally, with every DBZ fighting game, I load up training first, and I just play that for hours and hours, and then I get into the story mode. But with this game, you just don't get story mode training in arcade. Shoot, actually, there's a lot of just different modes that you can use. I know Dragon Ball Z Dragon Ball Z Xenoverse, Fighter Z, and Budokai, and Kakarot. It's more than just loading up and fighting. It's like you get special shops, customization, galleries, collecting Dragon Balls in various ways, story what ifs, and I actually like that about the Dragon Ball Z Fighter games, man. They put a lot of effort into just taking you outside of the just playing story mode and just leaning on combat. It's a lot of content that goes into it. I appreciate that with a lot of Dragon Ball Z games.
Oh, hurt my daddy.
All right, now let's get into the gameplay. Now, the gameplay of this game is very Tenkaichi, a little Budokai in there, but very centered around Tenkaichi as far as the combos and the movement. You got your Ascension, your Descending, your Lock-Ons, your Dragon Rushers, which is 4 different types, your counters, follow-ups, your after images, your wild senses, your explosive waves, your sand prides, your unlock potentials, you get your teleporting behind enemies, in front of enemies, your smash attacks, etc. Basically everything from the old Tenkaichi games from 1 to 3 are in this game, gameplay wise. One thing that got me was the destructible environments. Bro, I love being able to destroy environments in games, man. It's probably why I still have Battlefield up there. It's just a destructible environment and just can change the gameplay of the game, honestly. It can change just the whole aspects of how you tackle certain things. So the destructible environments were a very nice touch. You can smash through basically anything and send your opponent flying. Now, they have this thing where you can switch out characters, but I haven't really focused on that, so I'm really not going to speak on that. But during my playthroughs and just practicing it in the training mode, it was very fun, really cool. The animation, top tier. It's like they plucked it straight. Well, Super does have some little hiccups in there, but it's a good iteration of Fighter Z and just the anime period. Even some of the manga panels, the animation is very gotcha. Everything looks beautiful, from charging up Ki Blast, which I'm gonna speak on in a second, to clashing where two people rush at each other at the same time, to the interactions that you get when fighting with everything was made with care. Everything was made with care. The the outfits look like they watched Dragon Ball Z and Super in the movies and just copied and pasted. Like, I know how important like the fits are in Dragon Ball Z. Like, every era from the Sand Armor to Goku's symbol on his outfit changing depending on who he's training with, from King Kai to Master Roshi to the Goblin and everything. It's very, very, very thankful for that. All the different eras like have unique fits. Vegeta, Krillin, Tien, the Ginyu Force, GT characters, and honestly, and Trunks from the Hot Timeline, man. And that stuff is very, very essential to DBZ fans, and being able to fight with battle worn outfits and like your outfit changes depending on the tide of the battle. Very, very, very important for us DBZ fans. And the key blasts and the key struggles. Oh my God! See, that was the seller for me. Just having the hands form up doing the Kamehameha, the Gatling gun, or the Masenko burning attack, and seeing the damage that they could do, and even like they even curve. Like, say somebody moves to the left or to the right, or ascends or descends while you're like trying to let the key blast off. It will move depending on which direction they are in. That's phenomenal. It's phenomenal, yo. Next, I have written down online. Now, I haven't played the online mode just because I want to make sure that I'm that nigga before I jump into fights, and I'm hearing the online could be...
Maybe it's been happening since the game launched, but I'm actually surprised it took this long for servers to actually have some issues, but I think this is more of a specific just issue when it comes to Xbox, okay? When it comes...
A little shaky and some needs some work. I expected as much from a Dragon Ball Z game where you have gods, humans, and all type of characters. That this shit isn't going to be balanced. And just being a part of so many online communities, I know players were gonna make a way or find a way to cheese something. Shit, that's just the world that we live in now. These niggas are not playing with honor. Of course, you can use using characters and god characters, and I mean, yeah, they're in the game, but at least be good with them. Don't fucking leave because you're getting your ass washed. Also, I read on some blogs, or like, I don't know what that one's called, Dextro? Well, I don't know what it's called. But I read that some players are hacking key meters. I don't know how that's working. I don't want to see it. Like, come on, it's an online game. Like, why are we cheating? It's scummy. But I heard they're trying to crack down on it, so eventually I'm gonna turn to it, but I'm not really too fascinated on trying it right now. Okay, let's get into what I don't like about the game. So far, the game has been a real fun grind, and I like games where my abilities and timing are put to the limit to try to beat a certain character's abilities. For example, everyone was having difficulty with the Grade 8 Vegeta fight. And it was early in the game, and games usually do that difficulty spike, but it comes out of nowhere. But that's why the training is so important. And since I'm in training, I'm gonna speak on it. Since I'm on training, I'm gonna speak on it. The training is fine. It's cool. It's Piccolo, Gohan, Goten, and I get it. You're getting your basic movements down, your recovery, your key attacks, very important. It's just that the game doesn't really explain everything.
Explaining the HUD details. This game does a very poor job of explaining all the different features of your HUD and what's going on screen. They kind of just want you to figure it out as you go, and it can be very overwhelming when you're just starting out. So don't worry, I've got you covered. We're going to break down each part of the HUD for you guys.
Some HUD features and some other abilities, especially switching your controls from standard to classic, aren't explained the best. And I had some trouble trying to find, I actually had to find outside sources to find a way on how to do certain things like super swing, which is very important. I had to practice with my friend. Basically, he had to teach me on how to do it rather than the game just giving me a tutorial. And like I said, that's a huge part of the defense in the game. You don't want to just get comboed and pieced up all the time. I mean, it does go over counters and how to react to combos and everything, but a large part of the game is figuring out the difference between button mashing and the correct control inputs. And I mean, button mashing will get you somewhere, but it won't really get you too far in the fight, and especially going against somebody who knows how to counter that. Another thing is that the computer can be a little annoying from spamming attacks just outright tough, man. Like when you get to Goku Black, you'll know. And like sometimes you can put down a whole character and then another character comes out with a 4 bar of health and you expected him to fight, and they expecting you to beat that. Like, nigga, I only got 1 health bar left. But that's why training is there, and it's so important to use it to when you make it that far in the game. And I know you guys are gonna say, well, it's a skill issue, but like some people are just there. This is their first Dragon Ball Z game since Tenkaichi series, and they just want to get back into the groove of things. But luckily you can lower the difficulty after a certain amount of times. Overall, there isn't too much I have a problem with, and maybe I run into more issues the more I play. But yeah. Oh yeah, I just want crossplay too. I want some crossplay. Yeah, because them niggas on Xbox talking shit, and I need to see some of them. All right, man, we about to conclude it all. Just the conclusion, man. Overall, I really like Sparking Zero. It brings me back to the days on 7 Mile when playing Tenkaichi, shit, even some Budokai. But just a lot of my friends and my sisters and siblings and just enjoying watching Dragon Ball Z, playing Dragon Ball Z from watching it at the very same time. It's just masterful, very nostalgic. With all the characters, key blast, outfits, story modes, customization option, tournaments, this game really just brings me back, and this adds a little bit more onto that, like the new characters, the new super characters that I didn't get to see or didn't get to have in the Budokai Tenkaichi games. In the next upcoming months, I know that they're adding some DLC, and I'm excited for that, man. Hopefully some new stages, new story arcs, and yeah, maybe this might be my favorite Dragon Ball Z game of all time, regardless of the online mess and some of the lacking in explanation on some training events or offensive shit and defensive shit. Other than that, man, I love the Dragon Ball Z game. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10 so far, and this isn't just coming from me, but coming from the community, coming from people who haven't played a Dragon Ball Z game in a minute. Some of my friends, some YouTube reviews that I looked at. Like, I try not to put that into like my final review, but I take that into consideration when making videos like this. It's not just me, but also like from the reception that I'm hearing and other people's experiences too. But yeah, overall, I gave it a 9 out of 10 so far. I'm really enjoying this game. It isn't like a competitive fighter game. I'm not really that type of person. I'm more like I'd rather play Smash Bros than Tekken. So like, I know Smash is competitive, but like it's not a competitive fighting game. And I don't really think Sparking Zero is trying to be a competitive sparking game. I mean, it's square, triangle, and O to block and like dodge. It's nothing too descriptive like how Tekken and other fighting games are. It's very rudimentary, if I'm using that in the right way. I don't really think I am, but it can be challenging at times. That's the good thing about it. But 9 out of 10. Yeah, thank you. See you on the next video.